Welcome to the Soul Filler podcast, a space for inspiration, love, and growth. Let's trust the path and rock this journey called life together. Welcome, Piotr. Speaker, leader of retreats, or I would say leader of the new awakening age. Also, what else? Body and breath activation coach, cancer survivor, and so many other things. I will definitely forget something. Thank you so much for being here, for sharing your energy and your gifts with the world. And I'm so grateful to have you on my podcast. I'm like a huge fan, you already know that. So everybody, when you need some portion of like daily dose of kindness, positivity, love, and some trust, you just have to follow this wonderful being, soul guy. Yeah, thank you so much. So, am I fit? Tell me more about this.
Wow, thank you so much for the introduction. I am a little bit speechless, which obviously don't help on a podcast. No, but thank you, honestly. Thank you for creating this space. Thank you for coming to the events. That's where we met. And thank you for following my journey and then being able to resonate with the journey. You know, it's been a beautiful experience so far. In general, like, by experience, I mean life.
Yes.
With a lot of obstacles and a lot of tribulations. And you mentioned MiFit Coach Mindful Fitness, which is the business I created about 10 years ago now.
Wow.
And it has been an amazing part of the awakening that I'm experiencing and that I want my clients to experience as well, and everyone that I come in contact with, because I truly believe that we are coming to this time right now where a lot of movement is happening, a lot of vibration and frequency is happening, and the earth, Pachamama, is truly calling us all to become just a little bit more aware, you know, bit more healthy, you know, a bit more, you know, loving and kind and appreciative towards what we already are able to bring into our reality, but also see around us, because nature is the abundance. So MiFit started exactly with the understanding that there has to be something more than just fitness. Why not collaborate the two and merge them together? So it's MiFit stands for mindful fitness. It's a portmanteau of the two words, mindful and fitness, because I believe that fitness is such a broad term, and if you bring it into so many different areas of your life, you can really reap the benefits in different aspects. Your personal life, your love life, your business, your career, whatever it is. Mindfulness and fitness combined can give you that holistic health overall that will help you support your growth. And that's exactly how I felt about it. I felt fitness is maybe very broad, but also it needs the aspect of mindfulness.
Yes, I love it. So tell me more about your stories. A very inspiring one, and the whole journey you also knew very well the corporate world, and tell me more about the way from the corporate world to the mindfulness, spirituality, and coaching, and your wonderful work today.
I think all of us are going through so many stories and so many chapters in our life. I mean, our life is combined of many chapters. I do believe that we are a book, so we should have many chapters filled. Some are happy with 2 chapters, some are not aware that they can bring more chapters into their life, into their book. And I'm here to kind of say you should, and it would be nice for you to leave this material world with plenty of chapters and plenty of coverage in a book to share amongst people and inspire as well by your story. So the story that that truly was a breakthrough point, a pivoting point for me and for my business, my love life, my relationship with myself, my worthiness, my enoughness, all of it was the story of going first through the ladders of the corporate world, right? Receiving title after title, success after success, and why I do this is purely because I also, if you're listening, you know, it's kind of like quotation marks, because success can be so misunderstood. And for some people, success is just being very aware and being very loving and kind, travel a bit more, be more extrovert rather than introvert. So success is everything. But so often society tells us, or the conditioning makes us believe that success is material wealth and titles in front of your name, right? So we quite often have lost our identity, our I am. I am Piotr. And that is the most powerful statement that I can say. I'm not a director. I am not a chief executive. I am all these as well, but they are roles and identities.
Like labels.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they might just mask the real truth that is the I am that I am, which is the I am. But so the corporate ladder and achieving success after success has truly left me disconnected with myself, disconnected with what my dreams were, what my goals were, what vision do I have for myself. I was living a life for someone else and living my parents' dreams, my grandparents' dreams, my generation. I'm originally from Poland, so a Polish person achieving success in a foreign country, which was Ireland, the Republic of Ireland, was obviously for my parents, my grandparents, something that they never could even dream of.
Big achievement, right?
Exactly. So they have really fueled me with their expectations, with their desires to do what I'm doing in their life, but their life obviously has gone a different path, and that's okay. But of course, what was happening in my case is that I was really trying to please my family and make sure that they see that through my growth, they are also growing. And the corporate ladder has brought me very high up. And I was, as I said, received a lot of wealth, success, money, and all the other material things that are following, but the disconnection. And then that's exactly what happens when you start to disconnect more and more from your body, when you're relying so much on your mind and on your thought process. And if your mind and your thoughts are running the show, you're thinking in a very logical, analytical way. But that will only bring you this far. But it will not allow you to look at the entire abundance that is out there. And that is when you can tap into your body and how your intuition and your gut and your sensations are directing your life. So often we use these terms like, oh, I feel good around her, or I feel like we could create something together. I get good energy from that person. And we all have it. It's not some psychic ability. It's an intuitive force that our body is constantly trying to tell us. But if we ignore it, and we mask it by the mind, analytics, logic, we will not be able to tap into the body. So what was happening in my case is I was so far from body and mind, so disconnected from between like the two, totally relying on the mind, and that was the driver in the car of my life. That the body, after sending me many signals of stop, don't, we need to rest. Let us, you feel exhausted, etc. I was ignoring all these because obviously I thought that I have to go do more and more, and it's all about hustle.
Yes. What were the signs or the signals from the
the signs? First of all, obviously feeling very exhausted and very weak, which then I was overrunning and trying to go on overdrive. And then of course you got all the stimulations that can help you, like coffee, like just being, inspired even by your other colleagues that are doing more than you, so you want to do more as well. And you can drive your car, your body, very, very far, and you can really go push it.
And the approval from others, that's like, and the more, for me, I've had a similar story. So that's the approval for the ego, from the society, from the family, from the friends, from everyone. You this and you achieved that, and it's like kind of motivation.
Yeah,
sure.
It is. It's almost like you are getting these little dopamine kicks, and and of course, again, you're in an environment that you're meant to, like in my case, like you're meant to believe that you love it and this is your path. And I truly, like if you would have met me 10 years ago, maybe not 10, but 14 years ago, we would have had a completely different discussion. a completely different discussion. There was the drive, the logical mind, the analytics, wealth is success. Like literally, I had to go through a lot of own realizations to become that person that I am today, to come back to who I really am. Because I do believe that we are always unlearning. We're not learning new things. We're unlearning.
Yes.
The programs, the social expectations, the conditioning, we're unlearning. What our parents told us, what our teachers told us, doctors told us, we are unlearning. Because a lot of the things we put a lot of other people on pedestals, and we treat them as authority.
Sure.
And we lose the identity with ourselves. Is this really my dream? I'm an artist. I want to paint. But then my mom said, but you're not going to make any money from painting. So why would I? So there's all of, so you start, and it's all about mini steps, because I do believe that people quite often say these little things without harming us. We're not trying to harm us. Like if our mom or grandparents are telling, they're not harming us. But they are influencing us to that point that we are interpreting what they're saying. And the way we interpret is unfortunately after a while becoming our identity and not who we truly are. So we slowly start diverting from our path, or we forget about our path, or we start being blinded, etc. So coming back to the original topic about the breakdown, and from breakdown coming into a breakthrough, the body was so disconnected, feeling so much pain, exhausted constantly, sending me non-stop signals, and signals like there is the flu, there's the angina, rest, right? We need rest. Then it got to the point where I was really not listening. I wasn't listening to all the sensations, or to any of the sensations that my body was trying to send me constantly. And in January 2012, that was the moment where I was drastically stopped, because I was diagnosed with cancer. And that was the moment where I, in a way, decided bodily that the body sensations are taking over. I'm trusting my intuition, and I'm going to go step by step into more mindfulness and connecting with body, and the mind will rest. At the moment, I cannot run anymore. I am exhausted and my body is showing it. So it got to the point where I was just so exhausted, and with the diagnosis, I had to reevaluate my entire life day by day.
Wow. Yeah, it was another journey then, right? Yeah. And what about this disconnection? And I think it's also a long way to reconnect again. It's like I also believe it's actually a lifelong story. Like there is always some potential to grow and to reveal another part and to see and to explore, and that's the beauty of it. And I also believe that every chapter has some charm, and it's part of the whole journey anyway, and that human experience. So there were definitely, or maybe there were many breakthroughs moments when you were like, there's something to have to change. There's something that the diagnosis was a very obvious one, I guess.
It was an accumulation of little small things. This is why I try to say as well to whoever I encounter, whoever starts working with me, is like, don't try to change your entire life in a week. If you have passed 20, 30, 40, 50 years of your life, don't expect everlasting change to happen in the space of a day, a week, a month. Give yourself the same time as you would for the absorption of everything that has happened throughout your life. And that is very important, because we quite often forget that we don't need to be rushing and running into recovery.
Yes.
Right? We don't. It's a journey, as you said. It's all a journey. And everything that we have experienced is there to teach us. And as hard and difficult it might be, it's there to teach us. Because only from that moment on, we can see the growth, and we can see the coming together, the reconnecting with ourselves, with our bodies, with our minds, and then befriending them both. Because I believe the mind is not evil. It's not like thoughts and analytical mind is not evil, but the disconnection is. So once we start bridging them together, then we can truly feel like, okay, this is actually making a big difference in the entire existence of mine.
Okay, that's what do you mean? That's like the kind of be aware of the mind, about the thoughts and everything that is happening.
That is key.
Yeah.
The key thing to anything, everlasting change, is the awareness behind all your actions, behind all your stories, that you're not them. Anything that's happening, and I know how hard it might feel sometimes for someone to listen to this, in regards to like, if it's happening for you, right? We often say this, but there's so many things that are very hurtful, and it's hard to say, oh, this and this is happening for you, and you're feeling the pain and the suffering from it. But I would say that there's a big, massive moment of transition once you realize that you're not the story, you're not the experience that has happened, has happened physically, but it's your interpretation that you put on top of it. So, and then quite often people are living in that interpretation.
And reaction.
And exactly,
Yeah, okay.
exactly. So we believe in our own story because we interpret it that way, and we are fully standing as that story. We're like, well, of course, for example, I will never lose excess body fat because I was always like this. Right? We believe in that story. Or my parents are like this, so of course I cannot change.
And then we get evidence, right?
Of course, it's exactly, it's exactly, and it's so powerful because we're able to, excuse me, we're able to see that we are not the story. We are everything that has become an interpretation of all the experiences. And then the awareness takes us out of it and shows us, wow, okay, wait. Now I can see that I'm not. Why am I limiting myself like this? This is a box. This is quite a comfort zone for the mind to live in, the survival mode of the mind. Because I told myself I cannot change, and that is true. You cannot change. And now tell yourself I can change, and that is true.
True too.
You can change.
Yeah.
So it is the power of words, the power of experiences, and the power of awareness that we bring to it. Whatever you say, I do believe in the power of words. Whatever you say will become your reality. And I do feel like sometimes at the very start, we must give ourselves enough grace and enough time, patience, which is a virtue, and trust that you're now on this journey towards self-healing and reconnecting to your truest self. And it will take time. There will be moments where you're not going to believe in yourself and in your journey. And does it serve anything? Is this happening? But it's a worthwhile journey to live by these principles.
Yeah. So when we get back to the pattern, when the old pattern and thoughts are coming back, that's what will be my interpretation. It's to be aware, to watch what's happening from the from the higher perspective, or to be aware of it, so we can reconnect again, right?
Because then you can choose. And that is the greatest gift that we have. Yeah. We can always choose. There's so many things that are out of our control, so let them be. We are putting so much effort and energy on things that are out of our control, and we'll try to fix them or control them. They're out of our control. Yeah. What we can do, we can focus on our surrounding and us in it. That's all we can do. Anything that is above that, fantastic, have maybe dreams, but your goals and your visions should be around the things that are in your box that you can, strip and get out of, in your comfort zone that you can build to a bigger comfort zone, because any type of discomfort will lead you to just a bigger comfort zone.
Yeah, and growth.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what about the control? Do you believe that it's possible to completely let it go and to trust? Because the mind is coming back.
Yeah, of course. No, I don't. Yeah, that's a very good question. A very good question. I don't think it is possible, and I don't think we should even try.
Yeah.
And I think this is the most powerful understanding and the knowledge that we get from life. That control is kind of like illusionary, right? I mean, there's so many things in our life that just are.
Yeah.
And then again, probably is going to be the word of the podcast, the interpretations of these events are then us to choose from. So I like to, and it happens quite often in my reality where my old patterns come back. Because again, I had 28 years of being convinced that I am this way and not the other way. So now I'm only 11 years on the new path. So if I have to match this 11 and 28, kind of the 28, of course, will keep on showing up. Of course. But there's nothing wrong with that. And this is where quite a lot of people try to diminish or believe that their darkness is not their light. And this is for me very powerful to understand that, to make sure that people understand that you're only your light when you stand fully in your darkness.
We can appreciate it when we know
Absolutely.
darkness, right?
Absolutely. Your past was there to teach you, to be part of you, but you don't have to stay in your past. Yeah. You can choose. And you can choose your present reality and then your future reality, which I believe is actually just the coming together with the present reality. So it is quite possible to, and it's quite needed for all of us to understand that it's all about choosing, and then choosing as the awareness with a bit of more mindfulness.
Yeah.
Not chaotically reacting to the choose. No, give yourself space and time to choose.
Love it. Yeah. Mindfulness. And can you share like one or two tools for busy people, for everyday life, for situations where we are not in a state of peace, and then you definitely can tell something more about breath and
Yes.
this
the tools and like I do believe we have all of us have this opportunity to use the tools in the toolbox, right? And the toolbox can obviously be used at times when we are at peace and at times when we're not. So we need to understand as well that whatever tools that we have, we must practice them and stay consistent with them on a daily, consistent basis when we are at peace, when we are most grounded. So then they can then show up as tools that we can use during harder times, times when we are feeling a bit of irritation and a bit of like injustice, judgment, comparison. So I would definitely say, with all the tools that I'm very happy to share to your listeners, to your viewers, to practice these on a day-to-day basis without any expectations. Be very mindful that on some days you'll be happy to do them, on some it will feel like a chore, and that's okay. It's all okay. If you stop doing them for a while, that's okay as well. I'm a huge believer in kindness towards yourself and cheering for yourself in all the aspects that you do. So the first thing that I'll definitely say is the connection with your breath. Because the connection with your breath and how you use your breath, which obviously for some might be a very exciting concept, especially for us humans, or living species, species that are breathing on a day-to-day basis. So a lot of people ask me, well, what do you mean?
I'm already breathing. Right?
I'm already breathing, and I love saying that as well. I teach people how to breathe.
Yeah, great.
And I love saying that because it obviously it's a bit of a controversial statement, but it's so true. We breathe, but we forget that we have either control of our breath or we allow the breath to be. So this is like the most beautiful representation of life, where there's things that are out of our control and there's things that are in control. And so often we can control our breath. And by controlling our breath, we can tap into whatever state we want to be in, whatever our autonomic nervous system should be at that state. So for example, if you need arousal, energetic, high vibrational, there's a certain type of breathing that you can do. But if you need calmness, digestion, relaxation, mindfulness, sleep, there's a different path. This is what I love about breathing, that you can implement different things, different breathing ways, techniques throughout your day to get different states from you. So the most simplest tool for anyone to use straight away now, and I encourage everyone to do it right now, is just to place a hand on your heart. Let's do it together, exactly. And a hand on your belly. And if you can, close your eyes. If you can, if you're driving or you can't close your eyes, that's okay as well. And just observe your breath. Just observe, without any expectations, the inhale and the exhale. And just observe which hand is rising. And now let's manipulate slightly. And let's breathe in through the nose, using our diaphragm, belly expands. Shoulders are down, chest is rested. And breathe out through the mouth, as if you'd be breathing out through a straw. Gentle and peaceful. Breathing in through the nose, using the diaphragm into the belly, and a longer exhalation with a smile on your face, so that the subconscious mind knows that all is well, that you're in a safe space. And let's do one more cycle of breath, breathing in through the nose, and as a wave, allowing it to leave the mouth for longer and longer, calmer and calmer, for as long as you possibly can. And come back to the present moment, gently opening your eyes and relaxing into this moment.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
Wow, yeah, that's for a few seconds, right? And such a difference. It's amazing. Thank you so much. And yeah, that's the power of breath, right? And as you already said, there are many other techniques, and you are sharing them in all of your events. You're doing, you organize some workshops in person and also online, right?
Absolutely.
Webinars and retreats.
And retreats, yes.
That's one now. I mean, there are many retreats that are coming now, but the next one is in Mexico, right?
Correct. Yes. I'm super grateful that all the work that I've been doing, I'm able to share now with people all around the world. Because first of all, we're all connected by the breath. There's no separation. It's all unity. If you are, thinking of a person in Thailand, Mexico, South Africa, Europe, we're all breathing. So this is already uniting us. And I do believe that the world needs more unity, and the world needs more love and appreciation, and finding the things that are uniting us rather than setting us apart. The retreat that I'm so excited. I'm excited for every single event and every single workshop and every single online or in-person event, and but the one that is going to be one of the bigger ones of this year is going to be in Mexico from the 4th until the 8th of March in San Miguel de Allende. So I've got two businesses. One is MiFit Coach, Mindful Fitness, and the other one is On the Healing Journey. So in retreats that are part of On the Healing Journey, we go through a full exploration of so many different modalities on helping people to heal together. Wherever you are on your journey, whether you've started or you're in the middle, or or you feel like you've totally fully healed. Although I do believe everything is a journey, and there'll be moments where stuff can still show up and come up. So it's all about how we can then come back to our tools and then use these. So these events and this retreat especially will be a coming together of people that are supporting each other on their journey, and I do believe that in community, in collaboration, in connection, in the collective, we can achieve greater states of self-appreciation, self-healing, and transformation. And so Mexico is the one in March. And then we have Sicily in October, the 21st until the 25th of October. There's going to be different events happening both in Barcelona, but also in Cyprus, Morocco, talking about a beautiful venture in South Africa as well. So I love the fact that through the power of the breath, through the power of mindfulness, somatic experiences, through the power of coming together in collective and feeling each other's energies, we can work for the greater good of humanity and the planet. And that is my mission. That is exactly my purpose and my mission. I really want to help humanity to become more aware and to step into their health and well-being, so that we can then, as a collective, raise the vibration of the planet. Because that is exactly, it is our home. Our body is our home. Our breath brings us back to our home. I have this saying that I just love coming back to this saying because it reminds me of the power of the breath, that only your breath can bring you back home to your body. Because this is our body, and we so have either neglected it, hated it for many years.
That's the point, yeah.
That's another probably bigger topic, and I was the one really obsessed with my body and how it looked, and hated myself, how it looked for so many years. So coming back home to the body, to the heart, by the breath, and understanding that this is our home for the soul, and then the planet is our home for the collective.
Sure. And everything, like starts within, right?
Absolutely.
Then collective. I love that we can just raise the
I believe that.
vibration, and me too.
I believe
Just,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the way it is, and it's so beautiful. Thank you.
You're very
So in a
welcome.
way, it's awesome calling and like mission to have, and I'm so grateful for people like you.
Thank you.
Helping other beings to be aware, to reconnect, and that we together don't have to forget that we can change. The world together, but we have to start within.
Absolutely. I do believe that a single person can have a ripple effect. And as I've been teaching, guiding also individual one-on-one clients through transformational breathwork journeys, body journeys, somatic journeys, meditation journeys, I can see how they then go back to their communities and create a ripple effect of questioning, and in a very kind and appreciative way, because I truly believe that we are that everything that has happened for us, and we can use that power. So that ripple effect of one person being the change for the community, and then for the country, and then for the continent, and then for the planet, it's absolutely possible.
Great. And because you already said something about the body, and would you say that's also with the connection to the body is where the self-love also began?
Absolutely. It is coming back home to the body, and the breath will be the gateway, the bridge. I've shared one tool, but if you don't mind me sharing another tool,
Sure.
I mean, as often as possible, if we can just question ourselves throughout the day, even if we give ourselves a mini task of like 3 questions throughout the day of any thoughts that are arising, are they our thoughts? If we can just ask the question, are these mine thoughts? And without any judgment, don't try to find the answer as well.
Okay.
Just be like, is this my thought? Maybe you observe somebody that puts you in a very irritated state. Like you feel like your body is almost like survival mode, and which is okay as well. Our body is
Like
programmed to this. Exactly. Like a trigger, or even like a let's maybe not go near this, for example, street, because I'm not feeling safe in that street, right? And I'm not saying go into the street, but start to questioning. Okay, why do I not feel safe? Why are my thoughts suddenly then spiraling?
Okay.
Why am I not suddenly judging as well, not the street, maybe the people that are walking in that street? So I do feel like once we start becoming more aware, we start this moment of cleansing and filtering a lot of our thoughts, and then choosing. And be like, okay, well, this one, it still serves me because I want to be safe, absolutely. But this one maybe was a thought that I had when I was 5, 10, 15. And maybe when I was bullied, like I was, maybe it has helped me. But actually, maybe that athletic person is not really a threat to me. This is what I always thought. I always thought when I saw somebody that was into fitness, which is, I think it's quite a beautifully challenging thing, where I am a fitness person right now. I created mindful fitness. So, but I used to look at a fitness person and I thought that's a bully.
Oh, wow.
And I identified the label bully with fitness, with sports, with athleticism. So our mind very quickly will give us a full script of how we should look or how we should interpret a person.
So how you broke this?
Well, first of all, I started to look at the reasoning why I should get into fitness. So what would be my why? So my reason was, well, it's all about health.
Yeah.
And as I was going through cancer, I wanted to be healthy again. So if you've got a diagnosis of cancer, of course you're not healthy, you're unhealthy. So I wanted to make sure that I'm doing everything in my power to be healthy. And of course, whatever I looked, whatever I read, whatever I saw was all about, you have to do some kind of sports. You have to run, you have to maybe go on a hike, you have to swim, anything, right? So for me, that was straight away me facing my biggest fear or my story.
Yeah.
I was like, wow. So I'm going to be now the sports person. So, and maybe also one of the reasons why I created mindful fitness. So I'm not going to be that person.
So there is a gift there, right?
Exactly.
And that limiting belief.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. And then I can be that person for somebody as young as I was. So I can be the coach for my younger self. And that's exactly where I feel a lot of people would really benefit from as well. If they start looking at their, let's say, ideal client or ideal person to hang out with as their younger self, who would you be for the younger self? And what kind of coach, mentor, and then create that in the world. Because I do believe that was the way I wanted to be portrayed in the world, as a kind coach, as a person that really looks at people from the space of heart, from the space of love, from the space of connection, appreciation, and without being the critic, which we so often are. So I think for me, it was all about, okay, let me just start stripping away, unpacking, as some of my programs and events are called, unpack yourself. So it's like unpack the thought. So first of all, you witness, okay, this is not my thought, but where is this thought coming from? And of course, yes, it will take time. So be kind to yourself in regards to that, and also maybe journal on it. Sit down and write that piece of information on a piece of paper and be like, okay, I thought of that person or that street or that event as this, or I'm jealous, I'm angry, I'm envy, I'm full of hate, rage. Why? Write it down. Now, without judging yourself, try to really dissect and see if there are many correlations in your life that have brought you to this kind of conclusion.
So where does it come from?
Exactly.
Like from the...
Exactly. Because once you start understanding that, you can start understanding as well that, if you go about your why and your reasoning, you can then expand your thought process and the way you've seen the world so far. But your why has to be like a big why. So my why was, I want to be healthy.
That's another big topic, because I've been there too. I've done so many things for so long, for the appreciation, for fulfill other expectations and so on. And at some point, I just didn't knew. You just don't know what do you really want, because you're like in this personality, in this bubble. How we can find that why, like with exploring, experiment with different things, or again asking the right questions.
Absolutely.
What did you say? Yeah.
Asking the right, just asking questions.
Just asking.
And allowing as well the answers not to come from the analytical mind. So meaning, sometimes ask a question before going to sleep and fall asleep. Your subconscious will give you an answer.
Okay.
If you meditate, phenomenal. You can ask the question as an intention before the meditation. If you don't meditate, don't worry. I didn't for 28 years of my life because I thought it's pointless and I'm too busy to be doing this. Wow. But if you can go out in nature, or if you can go out and just explore, just be observant. That is mindfulness. That is meditation. So even if you watch your dog, or you watch, a flower, a plant that you have, and just watch it without judgment. Just observe it. Just look at the leaves. Look at everything that is around, it and it itself, and see that it's all vibration, it's all energy. Because you will be able to see it after a while. You'll become, your sensory perception of everything that is surrounding you. You'll become more attuned with all of this colorful life. Again, it's a choice.
Yeah.
You can choose to see the life that you live in either a positive, vibrant way or in a negative, dull way.
Yeah.
And I do believe as well in this mantra that I keep repeating, that life is dot. Life is not good or bad. That is exactly your choice. And that is, of course, you have days that are good, days that are bad, of course. But life isn't that. Life isn't good or life isn't bad. Life is. So your small little steps every single day, your conscious connection to your breath as often as possible throughout the day. If you can just close your mouth and just breathe in and out through the nose on a day-to-day basis. What we have done is slightly a breathing technique to connect us back to our breath with a hand on the heart, hand on the belly. It also gives a lot of reassurance for you to connect with your body, with your heart. You know, feeling the heartbeat, connecting with the breath, going into the belly, then as a wave into the chest and let it all out through the mouth. You can also start bringing in mini mantras to your inhale, with inhaling clarity, love, compassion, empathy, exhaling doubt, fear, unworthiness, etc. You know, all of these. So I would definitely say all these small little steps. Breath. You're not your thoughts. So who is this thought from? Why have I got this thought? Start questioning. Journal a little bit on it. Be very still in your appearance, meaning if you start walking the streets or going somewhere, and be very mindful of everything that is surrounding you. And of course, in a world that is rushing and hurrying, it is challenging. So find moments. I'm not saying to be mindful constantly, of course not. But if you sip water, sip water.
I love it. I really love it.
And then what will happen is you will start transitioning. You will start really coming back to your truest, most authentic, beautiful self, which is the self-loving, cheering for yourself. And then you'll be able to spread that message as well around.
Why we are so afraid to be authentic?
Because we want to, that is my belief, we want to belong to a tribe and to a community, and we have told ourselves that our authenticity, our uniqueness, maybe our weirdness, our craziness, which I love that. I love to say I'm the crazy one. You know, I smile at a plant or at a dog that I see on the street, and of course I know that that's not the norm, but I don't actually care. So the authentic, we're scared to step into our authenticity, especially in a community environment, tribe, because we feel like we might be pushed away.
Okay.
We might not be approved. And we do from an early age seek approval and belonging to either a sports team, a class, a family group. So we do a lot of things that are making us feel that we belong. And authenticity initially starts as I will be different than them. And of course, it's quite hard also to come to this moment where you're authentic with your truest self, with you being okay by yourself. And that is, I feel, the power. I love being amongst people, but I love being by myself. I love it. I love it because I have conversations with myself. I have conversations with my younger self. I have full-on dialogues with my subconscious mind.
Was it always like this?
No, of course not. It's been a process, but as much as I feel that it is a snowball effect right now, I cannot stop it, and I don't want to stop it, because I'm also attracting incredible people like yourself, and I do feel like my energy is just expanding and growing. And I can feel as well that the people that I want to attract, I attract into my life. So no, before that, like 10, 11 years ago, I was a very small light.
I remember that I was really afraid to be like alone with all my thoughts, and it's like, it's overwhelming at some point. But I also believe that's the way through all that stuff, right? To go out and
absolutely.
Yeah, it's
and be patient.
Be patient. Yeah, not to be too hard on yourself, right? I've been very judgmental, especially to myself, and very hard on myself, because you even in that spiritual journey, when you're like, and I will meditate, and I don't meditate, right? It's like we put like alone, it's coming from us, right? So much pressure. You have to do. There's no right and wrong. Just do it. How the way you can do it right now. I mean, that's
good enough. That is good enough. And this is another thing that I really want, and I really hope that this will help someone out there. And maybe if a person can, to really close their eyes right now and really feel it, what I'm about to say. because I really believed in perfectionism. And I really believed that I'm not ready because I haven't done this yet, so I'm going to wait.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you one thing. What if your 75% of your perfectionism is good enough for somebody that is at their 30?
Wow.
What if your 60 is somebody's when they're at their 10%? Your story is very valid and you're very valuable to the world. So you stopping yourself from sharing your gifts and your stories and your interpretations. And of course, remember, you can always share or give as much as you want. You always decide. You know, if you're not ready to share something, I wasn't ready to share my cancer journey so openly. Oh, and of course, I wasn't able to share it so openly. I always talked about it, but not in the way that I was in the most beautiful way possibly pushed to share it. You know, I do believe you shared at the very start, and I don't mind it at all, that I'm a cancer survivor, but I'm a cancer warrior.
Warrior, yeah.
And that's okay.
You're right.
That's okay. And a lot of the things that I'm owning right now is me authentically standing in my truth that yes, I was diagnosed. I had 16 chemotherapies. I had a year and a half of battles. But this was my mindfulness. I could not even spend energy and time on my yesterday because what was the point? I was feeling the tiredness, the weakness of my body in this day that it was happening. Tomorrow, who knew it would come? So for me, the battle was every single day. And I feel like we sometimes forget not to be too dark, but that we are going to die, all of us.
Yeah.
And we take this life for granted. So we don't take opportunities and choices. So we are waiting for the perfect time, which will never come, ever, never come. We're waiting for the book to be launched, the podcast to be launched, the video to be recorded, the sharing our story, to live our dream life, to travel, to buy that ticket. We're believing that we will come to the perfect time, and I'm here to tell you that will never come. So it's either you wake up and you realize, you know what, my 60% is enough to help people that are at their 30-40%.
So the right moment is always now.
Always, right. Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Powerful.
Yeah. It's and you're very welcome, because it's so often forgotten. You know that we as a collective have this power to inspire each other. You know, because my role on this planet right now is to make sure that you fulfill your dreams. You know, if the podcast is your dream, to make this as big as possible and I mean this in the most beautiful way, with as many trips, falls as possible, because only that will make you realize, I really want this.
Yeah.
I really, really want this. I wouldn't change anything about my life. Anything. Wow. My life is incredible because I use every story as a breakthrough. All of it.
Yeah.
You know, there is no moments where I would be like, I should have done this earlier. I'm 39 now. I'll be 40 at the end of this year, and I'm so blessed to be this age. But I'm like, I could have done this when I was 20. No, I couldn't. I thought I would, but no.
Yeah.
No, of course not.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm the same. I feel the same. Just like when I knew it, like, you know, in my 20s, I could make it otherwise, but it's the way it is, and that's the part of the journey. And before I forget something, there's something very interesting I want to talk about. About healing the feminine and the masculine, and how this balance affects or impacts our human experience. And I have to make a confession. When we spoke last week, something you said really triggers me back then. It's just like, oh wow. He said, you know, to heal the feminine, you have to be guided by a man. And I was like, what? You know, my ego is always still there. We are in peace, but she's like a kind of judgmental bitch sometimes. I mean, I love it. It's cool. It's fun. But I was like, what? I mean, and as a femininity coach and aesthetic coach, I was like, why? But I was like, okay, That's interesting. And I also like, ask myself, why it's just like, that short sentence is triggering you like this.
Yes.
Is there some like matters of trust to men? Why is it, or again, this like, I'm like not good enough in that what I'm doing, and all the other questions are like, okay, let's work on it, right? So tell more about the
I
feminine,
love
the
it.
masculine,
I
and the triggers there to teach us to like go
yeah.
through it,
Yeah.
through this.
I love it. And first of all, I love the fact that you became the awareness. Honestly, so you literally stepped out and was able to
Yeah,
watch it. And of course, sometimes it's hard to watch it. It's hard to see as well, the triggers, the stories, and believe it or not, some of the limitations that we
yes,
put on ourselves. And I also love how you have interpreted what I said, because it's always
sure,
it's always an
always,
interpretation. It's never,
of
and this
course.
is so important because a lot of people forget that however I say things, it will never be the way I said it. It will be the way you heard it.
Yeah.
So this is quite often is happening. If anything in this podcast is triggering you, question this.
Yes.
Ask
Yeah,
yourself this.
hopefully something is triggering.
Oh, I hope something is triggering. I hope you can then contact me, contact us, and just let's unpack it. Because that is the powerful message of this podcast. And I don't want everyone to just keep on agreeing with us. No, of course not. So what you interpreted, which I think is very powerful, is and again, this is me now interpreting your interpretation as well. So let's be very mindful of that. That a man has to guide a feminine to come back into her feminine.
Yeah.
I would definitely add to that, and this might have been maybe blurred in our conversation, that this is obviously coming from my experiences and working with some incredible, powerful women that have achieved incredible success, have really ruled the world of the so-called man domination, like stock traders, finance directors. So a lot of women, if we're talking about this subject, have put on shoes that are not really their shoes, but of course they wanted to really become the strong feminine, and that is beautiful. But they have in the meantime lost their feminine side.
Yeah.
And quite often want to reconnect with that feminine, that sensual, that loving and kind, that peaceful, that
Soft.
soft, still fierce but soft, and kind. Yeah, and what I have noticed, and in my experiences, when leading these journeys for an individual or a group of women, is that they've been so used to hear the dominance of the masculine voice within them, that their feminine is very dormant, very, very dormant. So they want to obviously bring out the feminine. So if another female or a man with a very feminine energy will try to be the first step for them to explore their feminine and kind of move away from the dominance of the masculine, but start to balance the energies, it will be straight away stopped by the subconscious mind, because it doesn't understand the language of the feminine.
It's unknown. Right?
It's an unknown. It will be like, what is this? No, I am here to do. I'm all about moving faster, doing more. No. Like, I mean, this is my program right now, and we're meaning this in the most loving and kind way. This is our program that we're running. So, in the experiences that I had was when I guide a session and I'm able to tap into my masculine energy at the start with you trusting me as well. That's another big thing as well that might have been blurry in the conversation, because it all depends if you trust the guide and you trust the coach. If you trust, you feel safe. Your body feels safe. This is why, for example, we have conversations before we meet, we hug. I'm opening my heart. I'm being very authentic and very vulnerable around you, because I know that you can then become a mirror to me. And that's the most beautiful gift that I can give you, and then you can give back. And that's how this world works. We are each other's mirrors. So I know that if I bring you into the masculine through my coaching, I can then take it out of the masculine by me coming back into my feminine, which I have really nicely balanced.
Okay.
And I am very proud of it. It's still a work in progress, but I love work in progresses.
Wow.
And then I can bring it into your feminine, into that love and kindness, and into that full softness of the feminine.
So is that balance possible? Like, or is always like, you know, the energy who is like in alignment with the physical body is like more dominant? When for women, for example, is it like more dominant to be more in the feminine energy, but still have that part with the masculine energy like integrated, or do you believe it's like 50-50, there is balance? And what is your experience?
I don't think balance is possible. I think balance is a concept sold to us in a lot of things.
Okay.
Work life as well. Balance work life doesn't exist. You cannot do 50-50 on work life. Same thing with masculine and feminine.
Yeah.
There is no such thing. If you look at nature and everything that's surrounding us is giving us the best examples of that. There is no balance between light and darkness. Some nights are longer than days and some days are longer than nights. So there is no balance as well.
But in the long term, they're balanced.
So what you can do then, so this is when it becomes, I love to call it a dance between the two. Because you again step out and you can become the awareness of the energy. And you can feel, for example, fully safe to be your fullest feminine today or in this moment, and then step into your masculine. There's nothing wrong with that. You might need to be more of a decision maker later on, but then you can control it and be more into the feminine again. So it's a dance between the energies, and I do believe there's some roles and some masks. I mean, there's such a misinterpretation of what a mask is, and some people are like, oh, I don't want to wear any masks. But we have masks throughout our life, and they are there to support us. Not every mask, not every role that we play is a role that is inauthentic with us.
Okay.
Yeah. So I feel like we can create a balance, but the balance will be a balance of 30 and 70, and the balance could be a 40 and 60.
Wow.
Or 60 and 40. I think that's also a balance.
It's still balance, yeah.
You know?
I mean,
once you feel like, because there is moments where, for example, in regards to my clients, that they weren't able to find their feminine side, for example, in sexual relationships. And they felt, why am I also the dominant if my husband is? So there was a lot of this kind of friction for them, that they were like, I want to step into my feminine.
That other thing, you know, the universe feels like, you know, niches and spaces and try to balance them. And when I believe that when a woman is like in her masculine, then that's what she attracts is a feminine. So, and there are so many women that are not 100%. Happy with you know, doesn't matter, love life or partnership, any kind, because, you know, they're attracted, or they think that they want something else, but they're attracting that what they don't want because it's like in the feminine. And but how you know, imagine I've been there. I mean, I'm more aware and awakened now, but I've been there like full in the masculine and achievements and business and stuff, material. But how we can like how to say it, find the first signs to prevent or to just you know, because when I've been, as I said, been there, and you're like happy with that state for that moment, you know, because you're like, you know, you're doing your stuff, you're following the map and the blueprint, and everything's wonderful. But then I believe I would like to see or to hear what you think about it. Is that the sign when you think that you're successful the way you believed, or you were like conditioned to believe, but then you are like not fulfilled or not happy with other stuff like personal and I don't know, love life, other are those like the signs to step into the feminine and to begin to be aware? I don't know.
Yeah.
Does it make sense?
It does make sense.
Yeah.
I do believe that all of the answers will always come when you're by yourself, with yourself. Because most of the disassociation, but also filling somebody else's shoes, is only done because of social expectations. And then, you said something which is true, but there's also another layer to that, because you said if a woman is masculine, she attracts the feminine, but also your circle of friends probably is more the masculine. You don't attract the feminine because you attract what you are. You don't attract what you want. I don't believe that you attract what you I believe that if you are a successful businesswoman, it's almost like your friends will be also successful businesswomen. If not, then maybe you're questioning yourself even more. It could be different, obviously, scenarios, but there's different layers to that. So you can see either.
I made it in a romantic relationship.
Okay. So in a group of circles, it's slightly different. Yeah, that makes sense. But I think very vital questions that you have to ask yourself is, how do I feel in my own body? How do I feel in this role? What is my body to me? As in, am I connected with the body sensations? Am I feeling sensual and sexy in my own body? There's a lot of questions that you might ask. Do I love my body? There's a lot of things that you might ask that might lead you towards answers when you become very still with yourself, still with your honest truth. And again, it will probably take time, but give yourself a space. This is why I truly encourage people, and this is not a sales pitch, to go to retreats, to go to workshops, to go and dive deeper into experiences and be amongst people that you don't know. Right? Go into a retreat, go into an event, go into workshops.
Out of the comfort
zone. Trust that you will be in good hands. Trust that the universe has your back.
Yeah.
Because the universe has your back.
Does, yeah.
So once you start exploring that, and once you start getting out of the comfort zone, which of course initially can be very hard, but if you finally make that decision and come to a retreat, and you're by yourself, and then you go through so many beautiful modalities like dance, breathwork, meditation, visualization, journaling, somatic experiences, movement, Pilates, yoga, you start tapping so into your body, and it doesn't matter whether you are a very feminine man or a very masculine woman, because all of the archetypes can find themselves, the truest self, at any of these workshops and retreats. That's when the truest authentic self comes out from. You will start exploring who you are, the I am behind you. And then you'll feel like, wow, I can see now that I am this, but I was playing a role.
Okay.
And I was in a program and I was conditioned and I'm successful, but actually I don't need that success. I want some other success in my life.
So the definition changes.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you. So powerful. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, that's a huge topic. I mean, we cannot cover it like in a few minutes or now. But it's a really, really big one, and I wish that there is more awareness there, and I believe it is happening, and it's like also my message with the podcast and my work in general, to spread that message, to that authenticity, to find the true self, the authentic self, to just like remove layer by layer all the conditionings, all the limiting beliefs, the fears, and it's not easy. I'm not saying that, and it's a long journey, it's a process, and maybe just being in the moment and just enjoying what is now it's okay for now, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And you will in the journey, you will be shedding, you will be releasing also some old friendships, and be prepared for that. But trust me when I say, from a moment of thinking or believing that you're alone, you will suddenly attract such a tribe, such a powerful energy that you suddenly start seeing the world in a different way, with the community, with the people that will suddenly be talking your language.
Yeah. That's all about it. Yeah. Yeah, wow. Thank you so much for the incredible talk, for your energy. I
Thank you.
love your authenticity, your energy, and thank you for again for sharing this with me, with us. And something else, I really believe and I hope that there will be another episodes with you, because you have so much to give and share.
Yeah.
It's a
Thank
pleasure
you.
and an honor to be part of this too. But can you share with us where we can find you, like online, in person? You already mentioned like a few retreats, but yeah, your Instagram, whatever, yeah, we can
Absolutely.
find you.
Absolutely.
So yeah, love
Thank
it.
you all. First of all, thank you. Thank you for having me. For sure, I'm up for another episode. Yeah, for another episode. You know, a third and a fourth and a fifth. I'm really happy to be sharing these journeys and these stories and these experiences with you. I really love the insightful questions. Honestly, thank you for those. Thank you all for listening and watching, for being here and giving yourself permission to feel maybe some frictions and questioning after or throughout this episode, hopefully, honestly, because from the questioning comes a lot of awakening and a lot of clarity, truly, you know. And I'm always going to be here as well to help you, to guide you, to maybe give you a helping hand and a supporting shoulder for you to understand that through different platforms, different coaching experiences. So you can all find me on either Instagram, where it's MiFit_coach, or on LinkedIn. I'm very vocal on LinkedIn.
Oh, wow.
Piotr Ciepiel, Piotr, and my surname Ciepiel, because I do work with CEOs, leaders, and corporations, making sure that everyone lives a healthy and well life. From my own experience in the corporate world, I want to make sure as well that everyone in the corporate world, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, is able to tap in to the appreciation, the productivity, but also feeling energized at work and feeling happy and joyful. And then my website, www.mifitcoach.com, where you can find services, whether on one-on-one coaching, retreats, workshops, group sessions. And if you want to book me for a talk, I'll be very happy to participate in a conference or an event. And I fly all around the world. It's either in person or online. So basically, let's talk, let's make this happen. But by all means, please connect with me on any of these platforms. Send me a message that you've listened to this, maybe any of the tools that you've used, so you'll be able to give me some feedback on it as well. And if there's anything that you're questioning, feel free to reach out as well with the questions, but also stay first with the question yourself and just become the awareness.
Thank you so much.
Very welcome. An absolute pleasure. I mean it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for being part of the Soulful experience. It will mean the world to me if you share it, leave a review, and subscribe. Trust, love, take care, and namaste.